My brothers and sisters, the day I sat between President Putin and Prime Minister Modi, I felt the weight of history reshaping itself. Two nuclear powers, once rivals, setting aside decades of mistrust to forge something unprecedented. Not for their benefit alone, but for African sovereignty. A $38 billion defense pact, the largest trilateral agreement of our time. India's advanced technology, Russia's battle-tested weapons, and Africa's strategic vision have united to spark a military-industrial revolution that will echo across continents. This was not just another arms deal. This was the moment Africa stopped begging for protection and began building power. The day we declared that our security would be anchored in African strength, supported by partners who respect our sovereignty, not exploit our weakness. When the flags of Russia, India, and Burkina stood together at the signing ceremony, every Western military planner felt the ground shift beneath them. They understood what had just been created, the foundation of a new global security order, with Africa at its center. For 70 years, the world of defense was divided between NATO and Russia, with India maintaining cautious neutrality. But through Burkina Faso's bold diplomacy, the impossible has been achieved. Moscow and New Delhi united in a partnership that places African interests first. This agreement creates something revolutionary, a triangular alliance led by African vision. We are not junior partners scavenging for scraps. We are the catalyst transforming global military cooperation. Russia brings weapons proven in real wars. Kalashnikov rifles, T-90 tanks, S-400 missile systems, Su-57 jets. India brings cutting-edge technology, precision manufacturing, cyber defense, and space innovation, delivered without Western restrictions. Africa contributes vision, markets, and the strategic imperative, the truth that sovereignty without security is meaningless. Together, we are constructing a defense ecosystem that challenges Western military dominance while advancing African development. For decades, the West sold us overpriced, outdated weapons bound with political chains. France's embargo threats, America's monitoring conditions, Britain's so-called human rights clauses. Every deal was designed to control us. This India-Russia partnership is different. Weapons without strings. Technology transfer without interference. Manufacturing without colonial oversight. We will not simply buy arms, we will build them. Russian designs, Indian precision, African assembly. Our soldiers will carry rifles made in Ouagadougou, not Moscow or New Delhi. Our pilots will fly jets assembled in Bobo, Dioulasso, not foreign hangars. This breaks the Western monopoly forever. For the first time, African nations can choose partners based on respect and capability, not colonial history or political pressure. This investment will transform our future. $15 billion for indigenous weapons manufacturing. Kalashnikov technology adapted for African factories with Indian production methods. $80 billion for aircraft. Su-57 technology combined with Indian aerospace expertise, producing Africa's own fighter jets. The $6 billion for missile defense. S-400 systems integrated with Indian software, giving Africa continental air protection. $5 billion for naval power. Russian submarine knowledge and Indian shipbuilding, creating African fleets to guard our coasts. This is more than a defense pact. This is Africa's declaration that our sovereignty will never again rest on foreign charity. We are building power with our own hands, alongside partners who stand beside us, not above us. $3 billion are dedicated to cyber warfare and space defense. Indian satellite technology combined with Russian electronic warfare systems will establish African cyber sovereignty. For the first time, our digital infrastructure will be defended by African-controlled systems. $1 billion goes toward training and doctrine development. Russian military expertise and Indian technical institutes will help create African defense universities, where our officers will be educated on African soil, not in foreign academies that teach foreign doctrines. This is not mere arms purchasing. This is comprehensive defense industrialization designed to make Africa militarily self-sufficient within a generation. In Gawa, Farmer Usmani has watched foreign peacekeepers come and go for decades. Blue helmets that failed to stop cattle raiders. French troops who guarded mining companies while villages burned. International missions that served foreign interests, while African communities suffered. But now, everything changes. African soldiers trained in African academies, equipped with African-built weapons, will defend African communities according to African priorities. No more waiting for foreign permission to protect our own people. In Dori, young Aminata dreams of joining the military. Yet she knows the weapons are outdated, the training inadequate. Imported rifles break without spare parts. Officers study in foreign schools that teach doctrines unsuitable for African realities. But tomorrow will be different. With new capabilities, Aminata will train on modern equipment in world-class African institutions. She will serve in armed forces equipped with cutting-edge technology, built in African factories by African hands. In Benora, businessman Sadu cannot expand his operations near the border because of insecurity. Outdated communication systems and weak patrol forces leave frontier regions unprotected. But modernization will secure every corner of our land. Advanced surveillance systems, rapid response units, and professional forces will make all regions safe for business, growth, and prosperity. Within hours of our announcement, Western capitals erupted in panic, not celebration. Pentagon officials rushed to consult African partners. The French Defense Ministry scrambled to protect military base agreements. British arms companies lobbied to preserve their market share. NATO's entire strategy for Africa had rested on dependency, keep African armies weak, sell expensive weapons tied to endless maintenance contracts, and ensure conflicts always required Western intervention. But this India-Russia partnership destroys that model. African self-sufficiency makes Western military influence irrelevant. African production collapses Western arms markets. African security autonomy ends Western geopolitical control. They offered counterproposals, of course. Aid packages, promises of technology transfer, expanded training programs. But every offer carried conditions designed to preserve dependency. We rejected them all, not out of hostility, but out of determination. African security will serve African interests, supported only by partners who respect our sovereignty. And for the first time, game-changing military technology will be built on African soil. Russian hypersonic missile designs paired with Indian precision guidance systems, producing African missiles to defend against any external threat while maintaining a purely defensive posture. Indian drone innovations enhanced by Russian electronic warfare, yielding African-manufactured unmanned systems for constant surveillance and precise strikes across vast distances. Russian nuclear submarine designs integrated with Indian sonar, giving Africa naval forces capable of protecting maritime resources from any foreign threat. Indian satellites merged with Russian space defense, granting Africa independent communication security and strategic awareness beyond foreign control. But the greatest victory is not the weapons themselves. It is the complete technology transfer. African engineers will master every system, every component. We will not depend on foreign technicians to maintain our own defense. This trilateral partnership does more than deliver weapons. It builds the foundation for continental African defense cooperation. For the first time in modern history, Africa stands on the path to military independence. What begins in Burkina Faso will spread across the continent as other nations witness our military transformation. Nigeria has already expressed interest. Its vast military and rising economy make it a natural partner for defense industrialization. Kenya seeks advanced training programs for its armed forces. With its strategic location and disciplined military culture, it is ideal for regional cooperation. South Africa desires technology transfer agreements to strengthen its indigenous weapons programs. Its existing defense industry forms the foundation for advanced manufacturing partnerships. Within a decade, an African defense alliance could emerge. Continental cooperation in military planning, shared technology development, unified training standards, and coordinated responses to external threats. African conflicts resolved by African solutions. African resources protected by African forces. African skies defended by African capabilities. True security requires more than weapons. It demands comprehensive capability across every domain: land, sea, air, space, and cyberspace. Ground forces will wield modern weapons manufactured in Africa. Naval fleets will sail vessels built in African shipyards. Air forces will fly advanced aircraft assembled in African factories. African satellites will provide communication and reconnaissance, free from foreign control. Cyber defense systems will shield our digital infrastructure from external attack. And above all, African command structures will ensure that African priorities, not foreign agendas, guide our security decisions. Regional threats will be addressed by regional capabilities. External interference will be deterred by credible defensive strength. African sovereignty will be upheld by African power. This partnership shifts the global military balance in ways Western strategists never anticipated. Three nuclear powers, Russia, India, and Africa united, are reshaping the future of global defense. China watches uneasily, realizing that India-Russia cooperation has strengthened without its involvement. America faces a new challenge. Intervention becomes far more difficult when African nations possess advanced defensive systems. Europe sees its influence fading as African armies cease depending on European equipment, training, and support. Colonial-era military arrangements are becoming obsolete. This is not militarization for aggression. It is preparation for independence. The stronger our defenses, the less likely external powers will dare intervene in African affairs. My brothers and sisters, when I brought India and Russia together for Africa's defense, I was not merely signing contracts. I was declaring that Africa will never again depend on foreign powers for its most basic security needs. For too long, we were told that advanced military technology belonged only to others, that African soldiers must fight with outdated weapons, that African officers must study in foreign academies and learn doctrines unsuited for our reality. This $38 billion partnership ends that era. It affirms that African security deserves the world's best technology, adapted for African conditions, manufactured by African workers, commanded by African leadership. Russia brings proven military technology without political interference. India contributes advanced manufacturing expertise without colonial baggage. Africa provides vision, leadership, and determination to secure true independence. Within 10 years, African militaries will rival any in the world. Our officers will study doctrines written by Africans for African challenges. Within 20 years, our industries will manufacture sophisticated weapon systems to meet continental needs. Our soldiers will carry African-made rifles, drive African-assembled vehicles, and fly African-built aircraft. Within 30 years, Africa will be fully self-sufficient, its security guaranteed by its own strength, its territory defended by its own forces, its sovereignty protected by its own will. But this partnership is more than military capability. It is Africa's refusal to remain vulnerable. We are not seeking domination over others. We are building defensive strength for ourselves, strong enough that no external power will ever again threaten African sovereignty. The ink is dry. The weapons are coming. The training begins tomorrow. A militarily secure Africa rises today. And when we stand strong, we stand forever.